Of course, if you can, some major tribes is always well and good, but otherwise to show, you will be starting with that tribe is a colonial construct, giving those references, and then till date we don't have any proper definition of a tribe. Hmm? And the fact is that after 1970s, anthropologists have stopped talking about tribes. You can give the reference of Seymour Smith, Macmillan Dictionary, 1986. I'll read the whole of it. You can put some of it only. The anthropological study of African people showed that the colonial concept of the tribe as an ethnically, linguistically, culturally, and politically autonomous and self-conscious unit was a gross oversimplification of the complex panorama of inter-ethnic and regional social relations of pre-colonial Africa. The realization of the artificial nature of the concept of the tribe generated a rejection among anthropologists and also among African politicians and intellectuals who began more and more to question the relevance of the concept for the interpretation of the contemporary African social and political organization. Thus, modern anthropologists prefer to employ the notion of ethnicity and inter-ethnic relations. From here you can start. The modern anthropologists prefer to employ the notion of ethnicity and inter-ethnic relations in order to analyze and interpret what are indeed very real problems of intergroup conflict, but which are not fully conceived of in terms of tribalism. In a way, in brief, you can say that anthropologists, previously the way tribes were defined on the basis of the exotic customs of tribes, yeah, like ritual spear throwing, like blood feud, like sound duel. On the basis of that, they identified, but now they realize that this was oversimplification, and we even don't use the term tribe. Professor Srivastava, 2005, he has advocated that we should call all of them as communities, whether it is caste or tribe or a professional group, all of them should be called communities. Then what is the origin? 1901, they were called enemies. Then 1921, primitive tribes. 1931 onward they started, and ironically all the anthropologists they followed the British in putting various communities into tribal characteristics. The fact is, tribal is a colonial concept, and I have made it very clear in my book that they were forced to live in the jungle, but they retained their characteristics, and that's why Ghure prefers to call them backward Hindus. And even Professor D.N. Muzumdar, in all his books, he has not called them as tribes. He writes Ho Jati, Munda Jati, because Jati is the ground reality. And then you will talk about because of the variations. Monolith means having a single common origin and characteristics. Neither the origin is common and nor the characteristics. Firstly, you have the geographical issues. You can talk about various important communities of different states, regions rather. You have racial variations. Hmm? You have Mongoloid in a way. You have Proto-Australoid. You have Negroid. You have linguistic differences. But most important is the cultural differences. Wherever geography is different, you have Himalayan communities, you have central plains, you have living near the ocean, you have many communities who have combination of both. Accordingly, man nature culture, Mervyn Harris, culture depends on nature. Like the people who are living on the shore, their culture will be more of fishing, hunting, gathering, fishing, or cultivation and fishing, whatever is the case. Their deities will also involve waterborne gods. Those who are living in forest, their deities will be forest dwellers, like Nyamgiri and all those divinities you can talk about. Hmm? Then you will talk about the social, material culture, how they differ in terms of dress, in terms of ornaments, in terms of games. Then, in terms of social, economic, political, religious, hmm, all these, these things. But the issue is, should we call them as a monolith or should we not? That is clear from this. And equally important is, should we call them tribe or not? So, in conclusion, you have to conclude both, that all communities of India, they differ from each other, even caste to caste living on in the same region, even the neighborhood. Some features would be different. That is why they are different communities. Fine. So neither they are a monolith nor they are tribes. I given you the reference of Western Merriam Dictionary. Hmm? Very elaborative answer has to be there because it's 20 marker. Had it been 10 marker, you could have written brief things and you could have gone out. But 20 marker, I told you, out of 10, examiner may think once to give you 8 out of that. But out of 20, he'll think 20 times before giving you 15 marks. Got it?